Taenia, also known as the tapeworm, is a member of the genus Cestota. Contrary to what you may have heard, they are not made out of tape. They are usually made out of worm. The tapeworm has long been an analogy for a parasite that feeds off its host, giving nothing in return. It's like your friend Jeremy, who always forgets his wallet when you go to Chipotle and claims that Venmo isn't a safe way to transfer money. There are over 6,000 described species within the tapeworm phylogenetic class Cestota. Out of the 6,000, the genus Taenia accounts for the majority of infections. T. saginata, T. solium, and T. asiatica are the three main infectious species that use humans as a definitive host. T. asiatica was recently differentiated from T. saginata and therefore is less understood. There are other species of tapeworms that affect humans. However, most are less prevalent, though can still cause serious disease. The anatomy of a tapeworm is very similar to a human. Humans have heads, tapeworms have scollexes. Humans have hair, tapeworms have hooks. Humans have eyes, tapeworms have suckers. Humans get pregnant, and tapeworms have hundreds of egg-filled segments that shed hundreds of thousands of offspring, almost identical. T. saginata is the largest human tapeworm, usually around 5 meters, but there have been especially enthusiastic 25-meter specimens. T. solium, however, is usually a bit shorter at 3 meters. Tapeworms cling to a human's intestines using the hooks and suckers on their scolex, much like the way I cling to my parents' family plan. They can live in the intestines for years and rely on diffusion of nutrients across their surface, rather than a mouth. Humans are the definitive or adult life stage hosts of Taenia, but this doesn't mean it's impolite to tell them to leave when they stay too late at your dinner party. Once established in the human intestine, the worms begin to produce proglottids at a high rate, each packed with thousands of eggs, or oncospheres. In the environment, the eggs can survive for months on nothing but the hope that they will be consumed by an unsuspecting pig, in the case of solium, or cow, in the case of saginata. Inside the cow or pig intestines, the oncospheres hatch into a stage called the hexacanth embryo. They then begin their great migration throughout the animal's musculature and further develop into cysticerci. A cysticercus is similar to a circus. It has a ring, you might be afraid of it, and it's bad for animals. When a human eats meat infected with cysticerci, they migrate to the intestine and the cycle begins anew. Tapeworms may be long, they may have hooks for eyes, and they may remind you of your least favorite gum brands, but chances are, if you're healthy and you had a tapeworm right now, it wouldn't be all that bad. Adult tapeworms in the intestines are often symptomless, or cause mild gastrointestinal distress. The largest danger that tapeworms present is when T. solium tapeworm eggs are ingested from fecal contamination rather than the cysts found in undercooked meat. When the eggs hatch in a human host, they mature into cysticerci and begin their migration throughout the muscles, liver, and brain, where they form cysts. These cysts can cause complications in the organs that they infect, and neurocysticercosis, when it infects the brain, is the leading cause of acquired epilepsy worldwide. In the United States, it is characterized as a neglected parasitic infection and accounts for 2% of epilepsy-related ER visits. Tapeworms are vulnerable to the usual course of antihelminthic medications. These include albendazole and praziquantel. The mechanisms of action of these drugs are not fully understood, however, they do serve as broad-spectrum antihelminthics. Tapeworms are commonly called the conundrum of the colon, because it's really hard to tell the three species apart. Recent application of qPCR using TaqMan probes has shown promising results in species differentiation. Another lab has also shown that it is possible to cultivate T. solium larvae in human cell lines. Tapeworms can be spread through untreated drinking water if the water is contaminated with fecal matter. However, the majority of cases come from fecal contamination of food and encysted meat. Effective treatment, therefore, lies in hygiene improvements in high-prevalence areas. This can include food and hand washing to remove eggs, and thorough cooking of pork and beef to kill the cysts. Freezing of meat is also effective at inactivating the tapeworms, but it can take up to a week at normal freezer temperature. Tapeworms are a relative rarity in developed areas with good sanitation and water treatment, and even in areas without adequate sanitation, they are much less prevalent than ascaris.